was just a poor kid searching for bottles in a back alley. But when he saw a bleeding woman gasping for help, he didn't know she was one of the richest people in the city, or that her last words would change his life forever if this story touched your heart. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful stories just like this. Malik lived in the heart of a forgotten neighborhood, cracked sidewalks, flickering streetlights, and buildings so old they whispered stories in the wind. His mother had passed away when he was 7. His father? No one knew where he went. Since then, Malik survived by doing odd jobs, shining shoes at the train station, running errands for street vendors, and picking up recyclables for coins. He wore a pair of torn sneakers 3 sizes too small. His clothes were faded, and his stomach often growled louder than the city itself. But despite all this, Malik never complained. He smiled at strangers, shared what little he had, and always helped those who needed it more than he did. It was a cold Wednesday night. Malik had just finished collecting bottles near the back of an alley behind a fancy restaurant. As he turned to leave, he heard something, a whimper, faint, broken, like someone was trying to cry but couldn't afford the strength. He paused. Most kids would run, but not Malik. He crept forward, heart pounding, and then he saw her, a woman, lying on the ground, her clothes torn, face bruised, blood on her temple. She looked like she had been beaten. Badly. "Ma'am?" "Hey, are you okay?" Malik asked, gently shaking her shoulder. She turned her head slowly, eyes fluttering. "Open. Help. Please," she whispered. Without hesitation, Malik took off his worn jacket and placed it under her head. "I'm gonna get help," he promised. But as he turned to run, she grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. "No. Don't leave me. They might come back." Malik's throat tightened. He didn't know who they were, but he knew enough fear to recognize it in someone else. So he stayed. Malik pulled out an old, half-charged cell phone someone had thrown away months ago. He kept it for emergencies. This was one. He dialed. 911 gave the alley's location and stayed by her side. The woman looked at him, her eyes glossy but deep, like she carried the weight of 1,000 lifetimes. "You saved me," she whispered. "I didn't do much," Malik said, blushing. "No. You did everything. No one else would have stopped." Malik looked down. He didn't know what to say. Adults didn't usually talk to him like this. With respect. "I'm Malik," he said quietly. She smiled faintly. "Jessica," she winced in pain, and tears welled in her eyes. "I have to tell you something," she said, her voice trembling. "Please, listen." Malik leaned closer. "They wanted my money, but I wouldn't give them the password. They beat me. I thought I was going to die." Her lip quivered. "But then you came. A boy with nothing. Saved someone who had everything." Malik looked confused. She didn't look rich now, just hurt and cold. "I'm a CEO," she continued. "I own a company that makes millions. Every month, I have houses, cars, everything money can buy." Malik's jaw dropped. But Jessica wasn't bragging. She was apologizing. "But I forgot what really matters," she said. "I stepped over people like you every day. Never. Stopping to help, never caring. And now the only person who stopped for me has nothing." Malik shook his head. "That's not true. I have a lot. Just not money." She smiled again, weaker this time. Then her eyes fluttered. The sirens grew louder in the distance. Malik panicked. "Don't go to sleep, please. Stay with me." Jessica's hand reached up, brushing his cheek gently, and then she whispered something that Malik would never forget, something that made tears pour down his face like the rain falling above them. "I had everything, but I was never free. You're free. Don't lose that. Promise me you'll stay kind, even when the world isn't." Then, silence. Her eyes closed. Her breathing stopped. The paramedics arrived moments later, rushing to her side. Malik stood frozen, the weight of her words heavier than anything he'd ever carried. A paramedic tried to push him aside, but another stopped him. "Hey, That kid found her, he said. He saved her life. They worked quickly. Minutes passed. Then, one of them gave a thumbs up. She's stable. Let's move. They loaded her into the ambulance. Just before the doors shut, a voice called out weakly, "Malik." He turned. Jessica's eyes opened for a moment, just enough to mouth the words, "Thank you." 2 days passed. Malik didn't know where they took her. No one came looking for him. He returned to his usual street corner, wondering if Jessica survived, if her words meant anything, if she remembered him at all. Then on the third day, everything changed. A black SUV pulled up to the curb where Malik sat, sipping water from a cracked bottle. A well-dressed man stepped out. "Are you Malik?" he asked. Malik nodded slowly. The man handed him an envelope. "This is from Ms. Jessica West. She said you'd understand." Malik opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. "Dear Malik, you saved more than my life that night. You saved my soul. You reminded me that compassion still exists, even in the darkest places. As I recover, I want to honor the promise I made to myself, and to you. You deserve the world." So here's where it begins. Also inside the envelope, a check. Malik didn't understand at first. It had too many zeros. $250,000. The man smiled. "It's not charity, it's recognition. Ms. West is also starting a scholarship in your name, and she wants to meet you again when you're ready." 5 years later. Malik stood in front of a crowded auditorium wearing a clean suit and confident smile. Behind him, a banner read, "The Malik Foundation, for Kids with Dreams." Jessica sat in the front row, healthy and proud. She clapped the loudest when he spoke. In a world that often turns away from those with nothing, Malik said, "I was once just a kid with no shoes. But one act of kindness changed everything, not just for me, but for everyone I can now help in return." He looked down at Jessica. "Her last words reminded me to stay kind, and I did. That's why I'm standing here today." The crowd erupted in applause. Back at that same alley where it all began, Malik, now older, leaves a pair of new shoes for any kid who might need them next, because kindness never forgets where it came from. He was a poor kid with a rich heart. She was a rich woman with a broken soul, but when their paths crossed, something magical happened, and all it took was kindness.